Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Daily Crypto News. I hope you guys are all enjoying your day. I surely am. But my big question of today is, have you ever mined Bitcoin before? Or have you ever staked any crypto? Let me know in the comments section down below, and we'll talk about that another day. But today, I got some really crazy articles and theories I want to talk about, so make sure you watch it all the way through as I have a couple more questions as we go. First of all, to relate on that, does China actually control Bitcoin? Ever since ASIC miners entered mass production, there have been concerns about China's monopoly over the Bitcoin hash rate. But are they justified? And now this question comes up as there's, of course, a trade war going on between the US and China, but also because of a growing concern for centralization in crypto. Now, of course, I think most of us know that there will never be 100% mining power in China, but still, we also know that about 65%, number from down below here, is controlled by China, and a party would only need 51% of all the mining power to overthrow Bitcoin. So I can understand if you're a little bit afraid. In brief, this article entails China Bitcoin miners actually control 65% of the Bitcoin network hash rate, enough to perform a successful 51% attack. That would be, however, if they were to cartel or form together, which is of course not really the system that you would have to go for. It would most likely also hurt themselves really bad. However, if they really went for it, they could possibly still make $1 trillion or something doing it, because they could really get away with quite a lot of scam money. I just don't know how it would work regulation wise, like how they would have to pay taxes on all of that, but it's really a profitable thing if they were to go for it all the way. Such an attack would require collusion between potential tens of thousands of individual Chinese miners and remains extremely unlikely, as again, this is a very coordinated attack needing all the big companies over in China to all work together on doing exactly the same route, so to speak. And by minting almost 2/3 of new Bitcoin, China has strong but not absolute control over Bitcoin's market price. Now, the big question can easily be answered by saying, no, China does not actually control Bitcoin. However, they have a big share in really how it gets mined. However, if China were to fall away right now, Bitcoin would most likely still do good, as the other markets would most likely pick up. And it's not like China can really decide anything. Only possibly a little bit of the price, because they mine so much of it. You know, they can decide to go and do some sketchy stuff. However, it's not only China. I mean, honestly speaking, whales have exactly this power, and some one guy in the US could most likely do more than like 5 companies combined over in China. So that's really a statement which I can't really agree with completely. MAS completes Project Ubin for central bank digital currency. Now, this subject I will tackle later today in another video, as I think it's a very interesting subject. I think I'll do it in like 3 hours or so, as, man, guys, have I been digging for a little bit. I've been trying to dig up every single thing I could find, and there's a lot more going on than I could have ever expected. So I recommend you guys to just make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any of this stuff, as really, it's crazy to talk about, and it's crazy to see. Blockchain is dominating key industries, says Don Tapscott. And this actually coincides with my article over on Vechain, but let's first quickly read this. Blockchain is changing the world for the better, says the Blockchain Research Institute's chairman. Blockchain is already transforming several key industries, says Don Tapscott, and financial services like healthcare as well as oil and gas are among them, but he is being too optimistic about technology? Well, in my opinion, there's really no such thing as being too optimistic about blockchain, as really it is the future, and really a lot of the coins we are investing in right now, XRP, Chainlink, just to name 2 here, Vechain as well, 3. These are coins that are really changing and switching up the game by making blockchain mainstream. That's one thing, which is also again supported by this whole mass. But with Vechain, I guess the cool situation about it all is they've got so many sectors that they are huge for. So many, and so many sectors they could help, that really there's no other thing than just understanding and kind of acknowledging that Vechain is the stuff. I want to say the shizzle, but I don't know how YouTube likes that. Vechain surged to 2018 levels, but these metrics hint the run-up isn't over yet. I think so as well. Now, how I value crypto is how many people's lives, for how long, will it be able to change, to what extent, right? Those three factors is really how I determine a lot of these cryptos' true value. Not necessarily the value you see right now or what is supposed to be in, let's say, a month or so or tomorrow. No, the real value these coins have with the underlying tech or fundamentals. The true value is what I call it that way. With XRP, of course, that lays way higher because how many people are they helping? Well, at this point, possibly just, let's say, a couple thousand, maybe a couple 100,000, who knows. However, there's really potential for helping billions of people, and there's a clear roadmap to that as well with Ripple and the way they are working. With ADA, how many people could they help? Well, at this point, I would say maybe a couple 100,000, as it's a good platformer, but exactly how many people they will get in comparison to Ethereum and the rest, it's still a little bit of a difficult feat. They're trying to achieve true decentralization, but really, in the end, it's still about people adopting crypto. However, ADA does have some partnerships on a national level as well, I believe like 2 or 3 or so, which will, of course, only keep increasing, and thus, maybe because of that, it could go for millions. And that's why, to conclude it, I went for a couple million of people at least, even to tens of millions. I don't know about hundreds or billions, but it's also pretty high in that extent. Bitcoin Cash, on the contrary, I put it like 0, because really, what would you use it for? Same for Bitcoin SV, same for Bitcoin itself. Yeah, with Bitcoin, I guess, people are always going to be wanting it, so it's never going to go to 0, but it might really get a lot lower. And then for Chainlink, it's taken off-chain data to on-chain. And again, you can see in terms of price how ridiculously good it has been doing. And that's also why I'm saying the true value, the true price that Chainlink should have is way higher. It's way up there. It's something we can't imagine just quite yet. And that is especially so because Chainlink has been breaching all-time high after all-time high after all-time high. And again, today, it did just not reach another all-time high, but it really got close to there. I think on a couple of exchanges, it did reach all-time high once more today. As you can see here, it got to 8.25. So again, it broke all-time high again. And there's no stop in this coin, guys. There's no stop in this coin. And the same situation kind of applies to Vechain, where that coin might not be going up right now. I explained before, with Vechain, there's still a couple of resistances. With Chainlink, there is not. But with Vechain as well, how many people can it help? Well, through my care, they will most likely be touching hundreds of millions of people because they're going for supply chain, which is just huge. But relating it to this pandemic right now, you know, if I'm, oh, by the way, I was just talking about my story. Supply chain, hundreds of millions of people, most likely. But if we also are thinking about DNVGL and my care and all the kind of smaller partnerships in that sense that could stem from this joint venture, is that what you can call the DNVGL/Vechain thing? Possibly. But that, you guys understand that preventing diseases could actually help hundreds of millions, if not billions of people, but definitely will change their lives like 100% because it could mean the difference between life or death, right? And relating it to that sense or side, you really start to see why Vechain is so important. They can save millions of people's lives and in the end change billions of people's lives if you relate that a little bit further, which is something I think about. And that's also why Vechain's true value is definitely a lot higher than where it is right now, as it's really supposed to be a currency that everybody would like, right? Everybody would want it. And with Vechain, also one of the cool things is they're really going to be buying into the gas, the other one, the Vechain Thor, because the companies will need it to transact, which is crazy because they'll all have to really buy it. So just to conclude here, Chainlink and Vechain have a way higher true value, same for XRP, than it has right now, even though it's really quite difficult to say exactly where that should be. But that is also why these coins can go up without really having a limit, without really seeing that much resistance, without really seeing people saying it is impossible, because we all know the fundamentals are really there. And I explained earlier in my top 5 video why I think these coins are really a buy for right now and why we should be holding them without any question. 2 promoters of a $4 billion crypto Ponzi found sleeping in Mexico. Again, maybe you guys know what I mean with sleeping, a very, very deep sleeping in the dark with a lot of fire. But I don't want to say it out loud just for YouTube's sake. I don't know how they like it. Promoters of the OneCoin Ponzi scheme found sleeping in Mexico. Reports indicate they were put to sleep. OneCoin scammed about $4 billion from investors across the world, and some are now saying that they have been put to sleep for exactly that. They've scammed too many people, and some people were trying to get back at them a little bit, and I can understand. However, there's a bigger investigation going on, and a lot of different theories are coinciding, I noticed. Crypto Potato reported another OneCoin promoter was recently found and fined, although his fate was considerably more favorable than the duo from above. Vechain had to pay approximately $72,000 for advertising the well-known Ponzi scheme between January 2016 and June 2017. He used large-scale events such as social media platforms and locally registered companies to promote OneCoin and ultimately dupe around 1,180 investors into allocating funds through his rigorous promotions. The OneCoin scam, launched in Bulgaria in 2014, managed to steal nearly $4 billion from investors worldwide. Despite being classified as fraudulent in numerous countries, it didn't entirely disband until late 2019. However, the founder, Ruja Ignatov, managed to disappear after leaving the company in 2017, and her location is still unknown to this day. Very interesting situation, I must admit. And also, a lot of people were really angry the fine was so low. It's only $72,000 for most likely making millions upon millions of dollars. Interesting situation, right? What do you think about this? Did they deserve it for, scamming people? Or is that too far? Should they just deserve prison time and something along those lines? Let me know what you think. PayPal. PayPal confirms development of crypto capabilities. So what happened now is PayPal has confirmed that they're working with this. The payment processor is also reportedly working on bringing Bitcoin buying and selling features. And earlier we had a lot of hints, and we kind of knew it already, almost for certain, but it wasn't really official. But right now they have made it official, which is ridiculously nice to see, and it could potentially have been a bull thing for crypto, but it's not really looking like that's going to be the case. However, it could have been, as this stuff is always very positive, and it is going to be great, as this brings crypto to another whole new level of adoption. And I don't really see any negative sense for all of this, except for the regulation that might follow, and also the fact that they might be having a very close eye on your crypto holdings, which is kind of scary sometimes. And then here, U.S. Army seeks cryptocurrency tracing tools. The United States Army has expressed interest in kitting out its principal investigative division with cryptocurrency tracing tools. In a statement of work published July 10th, the Army's Criminal Investigation Command's Major Cybercrime Unit began the process of welcoming bids from contractors. Instead of software or hardware offerings, the Army is inviting vendors of SaaS, software as a service solutions, to come forward and provide information for planning purposes. Contractors have until July 20th to accept the Army's invitation to express interest. According to the document, the U.S. Army Contracting Command, New Jersey, located at Fort Dix, New Jersey, is surveying the market for potential contractors capable of providing one license for one user of a cloud, web-based application capable of assisting law enforcement to identify and stop actors who are using cryptocurrencies for illicit activities such as fraud, extortion, and money laundering. The Army isn't interested in developing an app from scratch, but instead wants to garner information about pre-existing web-based applications. And do you guys think it's also crazy the Army is getting into crypto like that? They want to trace these MFs. Wondering exactly how that's going to roll out. But guys, that was it for this video. Don't forget to press the like button and subscribe if you enjoyed it. And yes, the true value of all these coins lies a lot higher, and eventually it will get there. As David Schwartz said, if there's really kind of a public knowledge about coins being undervalued, it'll eventually go up, and that's what we're going to be seeing very shortly. Take care, everybody. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys again in another crypto episode really shortly. And also, don't forget to follow 5 Minute Crypto and Dusty Finance.